I think that probably one of the best things that a photographer can have, and in fact you absolutely have to have it, is a heightened sense of curiosity. That is really, that's just such a bottom line. You just have to be curious about things. And I've always been curious. I think you're just born with it. I have been really interested in shooting just ordinary objects. The equipment that people use just to run their lives. I'm trying to bring some appeal to just ordinary things. I've spent a lot of time going into people's houses and photographing about the people and about the things that make their lives go. One in particular was in Greece, where I went into the homes. I stayed in a little village and I went into the people's homes and I photographed everything about their life without showing them. My goal has always been to have it almost like a set where life is about to happen. Someone has just walked into the room, someone is walking out, someone's going to walk in, that chair, someone just left that chair. So I like to show the imprint of people in everything that I photograph and let the viewer put the person into it. I prefer not to actually have the people in their spaces. I try to put my reactions to things, my feelings about things, and I try to be really, really honest and straightforward when I'm photographing. I like to photograph my scenes head on. It's just presented. I'm not using any kind of artifice. I'm using natural light. I just present the scene to the viewer, and it's something I've responded to, and I hope they do, and often it is the case. I was born in Los Angeles, California. I had a little box camera from the time I was really young. So I would say I photographed as a kid all the time. I specifically remember the whole scene, taking my cousin outside and making him sit in this sunny area, but I liked the way the sun was hitting him, so I was trying to take these pictures because I thought, okay, this is going to look really good. I mean, I always was using my Brownie camera. In my first marriage, my husband got a job teaching in the East Coast, and so we moved to New England. Still taking pictures a lot, but I was looking at my pictures and thinking, my pictures aren't as good as what I'm seeing, so I need to, I think, get some education in this field. So I just sat in on a class on the aesthetics of photography at the University of Connecticut. Bill Parker, who was one of the most extraordinary photographic educators ever, was a professor there, and he took a keen interest in the work I was doing, and he invited me to come and show him my work, and he was very interested in. I had 3 young children at that time, so I would sit in on his night classes on the history of photography. And then after a while, he said, all right, you've sat in on enough courses, now you're going to teach one. It was a lot of fun. I still hear from some of my students from way back then. Life takes its own path, and so I'm still here, and that was a long time ago. I was in San Miguel de Allende for a month. So the first couple of weeks, I just absorbed the place. I walked around, I was looking, I was just enjoying it. And then after a couple of weeks of just trying to really just kind of get the feel of the place, I started photographing. And I have to say, it was just really delightful to be so enthused. I really was just looking forward to the sun coming up and when I could get out and start again. And I was lying in bed thinking about the images. It's just an extraordinary feeling. Most recently, I've been doing what I call flowers as metaphors. And for, I don't know, 25 years, let's just say, I would try to photograph flowers sometimes, but I never could get beyond, okay, that's just a nice picture of flowers. So I always had this as something extremely challenging to me. I just kept looking and looking at work by photographers I admire who had done photographs of flowers and trying to see, why do I want to keep looking at this? And I thought, it can be a flower, but it has to be about something else. So I set it up right here in this room, and I mean, very precisely. I have a big piece of felt that I just put up on the wall black. I spend several hours and I move things around and I move them, and once I think I'm done, I take it all apart and start over again. I might take, let's say, a dozen or 2 dozen pictures. I still work in film. I don't know until I see my film if it worked or not. The negative is scanned into a computer, and then the proofing process starts. I really wanted things to take on a glow from the inside out, lightening certain stems, darkening areas, taking out a nodule. Sometimes some prints are easier than others. Some take up to 10, 12 proofs, so it's no less time consuming than working in the dark room. And then I decided to give them all Latin names, but the Latin names actually were not the botanical names. They were actually the words that I felt that these images evoked, like elegance. One was light dancer, osculum primus, first kiss. I was really working on just a range of human emotions, bringing these in then to my arrangements of flowers. It all really reflects just me, that these are places that I like to be, that I like. It's my hand that is creating these. So the attention to detail is, let's just say, almost extreme, because the balance, everything has to be right to create this. I'm kind of looking just at everything. I see things and I just have a real desire to make some kind of a piece of art about it. I have never approached anything ever in a patronizing way, or look how humble and, oh, it's picturesque, because it's just so humble. I think that I've been able to convey I really have a respect for what I'm seeing. That's just been my approach, that I have to get engaged with what I'm doing. I can't think of any place I've been anywhere where I haven't become engaged with actually the people. We see,